Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And by the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. Visit gov.ky/steps to learn more. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Wednesday, the 6th day of September 2023, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road, including indicating whenever you are changing directions, changing lanes when you're driving, check and indicate whenever you're turning off the roads, indicate early so that vehicles around you know exactly what you're doing as well. Also, remember that our young ones, our future, they're on our roads, either walking, bicycling, or being transported by a parent or a guardian to school. So you operate as if you have one of our very precious ones in your vehicle, or if they're not in your vehicle, that they're in the vehicle around you as well. Not only will you keep them safe, but the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you've celebrated a birthday over the past few days, a belated happy birthday to you as well. And to remind you that For the Record birthday shout-outs proudly brought to you by Pizza Boat. Pizza Boat, they are now open in Queen's Court on West Bay Road. So, folks, hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Why? Because Pizza Boat makes pizza even more fun. And you can pick up or you can have it delivered as well. All you have to do is call 949-0000, or you can order online via www.pizzaboat.ky. For those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will continue to be a blessing to you. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. Those of you who are traveling off to school or accompanying your loved ones, your children overseas to school, we wish you safe travels, and we wish your young ones all the success that they can achieve as well. And special safe travels go out to Mr. Amari Hamilton, who is going off to the UK this afternoon on British Airways flight, and then he will be traveling by land to Southampton, where he will be studying port management. So I want to give a special shout out to him as well, but to all of those youngsters who are either returning to school or going off for the first time. We know that for the first timers, it may be a challenge as well, but we say to you, hang in there, and we know that your families and friends will continue to support you as well while you settle in. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. This morning, again, it is that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls. So you can call us on a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow, that toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261. We can take one call at a time from that number as well. Follow us on YouTube. You do that simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. And folks, we are on Facebook as well. So let's look at the birthdays shout out this morning. First of all, we want to wish a belated happy birthday to Miss Aldine Anglin, who celebrated her 95th birthday yesterday. So we want to wish her a belated happy birthday, and coming from family and friends, and in particular coming from Miss Zita May Borden as well. She has shared this information with us, and Miss Aldine celebrated her 95th birthday yesterday. Now, I'm getting a little confused here, but I'm hopeful I'll try to clarify it. John Henry Ebanks, my information is that his birthday was on the 5th, but we can double check that as well. But happy birthday one way or the other, John Henry Ebanks. Sir Alden McLaughlin also celebrating his birthday today, so we want to wish him a happy birthday also. So we have Miss Tammy Cessna Chisholm celebrating her birthday today. Miss Vivia Banks celebrating a birthday today as well. Michael H.D. celebrating his birthday today. Liana Lee celebrating her birthday today. Paul Barrett also celebrating a birthday today. So we want to wish all of those individuals a happy birthday. Tomorrow, Mr. Randy Shillette will be celebrating his birthday, and Miss Myrna Francis also celebrating her birthday tomorrow as well. And as you know, Miss Myrna Francis worked here at Radio Cayman as well. So I want to wish Miss Myrna a happy birthday tomorrow when it comes. Also, Mr. Randy Shillette, and today, Sir Alden McLaughlin, John Henry Ebanks, either yesterday or today. Miss Tammy Chisholm, Miss Vivia Banks today, Michael H.D. today, Liana Lee today, Paul Barrett today as well. And folks, again, to remind you that the For the Record birthday shoutouts proudly brought to you by Pizza Boat. They are now open on Queen's Court on West Bay Road, so hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Pizza Boat. They make pizza even more fun. You can pick up or you can have it delivered. Simply call 949-0000 or order online via www.pizzaboat.ky. So, folks, it's been quite a while since Dr. McField has been in the studio, with me, but whenever he's been unable to be in the studio, when the occasion arises, he is also, or has arisen, he is also called in to the show as well. So one way or the other, he's able to connect with us, and we are so extremely grateful for that. And we know that you out there, whether you follow us on YouTube, whether you're on Facebook, or you're just listening on traditional radio that most Caymanians still love to do as well, we know that you enjoy it and you appreciate when Dr. McField is either in the studio or on the phone lines with us. So, Doc, without any further ado, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning to you, Mr. For the Record, and good morning to all your listeners in For the Record land and all the listeners in the Cayman diaspora and all those people who listen to you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's good to be back in your studio with you. Even though I can't be in the studio sometimes I'm able to listen for a few minutes, or when I'm coming down to work in the mornings, I can listen to you in the car, and sometimes I stop on the side and make a call. It's something that I can't wait till I get to my office to call. Like I think last week it was, I called several times when you had some people onto the show. But it's good to be with you. It's very informative. And it's good to listen to your show, to be on the other side, on the listening side of your show. And I really appreciate this show. I think it's one of the best informative shows in the radio network in the Cayman Islands. I think so.
Thank you.
And people who listens to you from other countries, from other jurisdictions, tells me the same thing.
Thank you
And believe me, you have listeners from far and wide.
Thanks for that, Doc.
Just this week, I had the opportunity to be with some of my cousins, some of my grand uncle's children, who are living abroad, and they came in, and they were just in time for Dr. Frank's mother's funeral too. And they told me that they listen to you and where they are living in California and in Costa Rica.
Wow.
They're listening. They listen to your radio show
That is good
all the
to
way
know.
over there too.
Good to know. Great to know.
So thank you for the show. It's not only informative, it's very stylish, and it's a little on the upward. It's not one of these shows that deals with ghetto things, and these with the backyard stuff. You know, it's the pure fact, the pure law, and it's very relevant, and that it enhances the Cayman knowledge of who they are and where they're going and how they are going to get there.
Yeah. Okay, Miss Susan, we're going to take a little early break, and the reason I'm going to do that is because I have a special thing for our listeners in West Bay today, and this is from the Trade Winds newspaper of September the 14th, 1967, and those days there was a newsletter, and it says newsletter for August from the First Evangelical Church of Bosun Bay. And first of all, it talks about off to school, those West Bayers who were going off to school. And then it speaks about their Founders Day rally there. And then arrows added, spoke about the visitors, those persons who have passed on, the sympathy, the World Presbyterian Missions spoke about that as well. And I'm going to share that with the folks in West Bay, and in particular, the Bosun Bay Church, First Evangelical Church of Bosun Bay. So, folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Lincoln Benjamin Borden, 1899 to 1987.
Mr. Lincoln Borden was a well-known and highly respected citizen of East End. He served as an elected vestryman and justice of the peace for the district for 3 years, from 1956 to 1959. His name is found in the official records of the Legislative Assembly of the Cayman Islands and is listed in the Book of Records for the 150-year celebration of parliamentary democracy. He and his wife, Marcita, had 6 children.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The Fry Jack Fishing Tournament is on. The Rotary Cayman Brac Fry Jack Fishing Tournament. Get your sunscreen, untangle your lines, oil your reels, get your fuel, secure your safety gear, get ready to fish. Tournament day is Sunday, September 10th. Call Rotarian Annie Rose at 916-7310 or contact any Brac Rotarian. There is no fishing like Cayman Brac fishing. The Fry Jack Fishing Tournament proceeds will fund Rotary projects by Rotary Club of Cayman Brac, supported by Rotary Central of the Cayman Islands. Rotary, creating hope in the world.
All aboard the Pizza Boat! Cayman's newest pizzeria. Birthday parties, office luncheons, summer camps, game night. Whatever your occasion, bring the fun with Pizza Boat. A Cayman twist to pizza. Bringing fusion ingredients from all over the globe to give you locally inspired fresh pizzas all day, every day. What's more, now you can enjoy a boat-shaped pizza with toppings of your choice. It's Pizza Boat. Pizza Boat, now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. Pick up or delivery 949-0000 or order online www.pizzaboat.ky. Pizza Boat. Experience the ultimate pizza voyage.
Introducing Digicel's all-new prepaid plans. Packed with more any-use data than ever before. Entertainment data for the apps you love like Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok. Plus, endless social data for Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So you're always in the know. Stay connected. Stay entertained with Digicel's new prepaid plans. Activate in the My Digicel app today. Digicel. Better connected.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning none other than Dr. Steve McField. And of course, you can hear the excitement in my voice whenever he's in the studio with me. Just gives me that additional confidence that I need as well. So, folks, on the 14th of September, 1967, that would have been what? 56 years ago, I believe, somewhere around 56 years ago.
57 years ago.
Yeah. The newsletter produced by the First Evangelical Church of Bosun Bay. And it started off by with this heading, Off to School. So it says that on August the 28th, 1967, Cheryl Jackson left for Covenant College, Lookout Mountain, Tennessee, United States of America, where she will be a sophomore. Cheryl is an English major. Anadine Powry left on August the 30th to return to Jamaica for a year of practice training after having completed 3 years of teachers training at Shortwood College. Clive Christian is to leave September 11th to enter Micro Training College in Jamaica for teachers training. Duzelle Yates, who has been studying at John Knox Junior College in Westchester, Pennsylvania, United States of America, will be transferring this September to Geneva College, Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, where he will continue his studies in accountancy. Then it goes on to talk about their Founders Day rally, and it says that on August the 13th, the annual Founders and Family Day was held at both the 10 a.m. and the Sunday School, 10 a.m. Sunday School and 7:30 p.m. church service. Mr. Bertie Ebanks, the founder of the Sunday School in 1930, gave an interesting account of its history, bringing us from the first Sunday School class on the 23rd of November, 1930. Wow, he could remember the first Sunday School class. 23rd of November, 1930, consisting of 7 pupils plus Mr. Birdie as teacher and his sister, Miss Liz, as his helper. To the present, where approximately 165 were present at the evening service. It goes on to say that interspersed were humorous touches of the pen, the lady with the hat with strings hanging from it, and the superstition that if the girls attended Sunday school under the sea grape tree, they would all be old maids. Wow. Since December 1959, the Bosun Bay Church has been associated with World Presbyterian Missions, the foreign mission agency for the Reformed Presbyterian Church Evangelical Synod. The 100-pound goal set for the expansion of the present church building was oversubscribed before the day was over, and the Lord had granted them 110 pounds. Then this says, arrows added, congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Boyd Powry on the birth of a baby boy born on the 10th of August. Congratulations all to Mr. and Mrs. Isaac Ebanks on a son born to them on August 13th. Doesn't name the children, but I'm sure those persons will know who they are. Then it talks about visitors. Say the visit of the Reverend and Mrs. LaCrosse from July the 31st to August the 7th proved to be a blessing with both people and visitors. During this time, many friendships were renewed. I have to do a little change here. Many friendships were renewed. Come on. Yep, here we go. One of the messages delivered by Mr. Cross, which will be remembered for some time to come, was the message to the young people on Barnabas. No. Barabbas, I think this must be the son of consolation. From the August 17th to 28th, we were visited by the students' summer service team under the leadership of Reverend Mrs. Charles W. Anderson. The other members being Bunny Woodwine, Pat English, Tom Walk. So these were people coming from overseas to help. They had, as a result, the team would be gaining nurses' experience and perhaps find help in choosing a future place to serve their lives. From their welcome on Thursday, given the 17th until the closing service on the 27th, it was a joy to help the young and old. So talk about that. And then they spoke about volleyball. They played volleyball. Bad news, on the 30th of August, we played a return match with the Chapel Church of God team on their grounds and were defeated again. So, you had inter-church sports as well those days, Dr. McField. Then talk about sympathy. In sympathy, Mrs. Miriam Jackson passed away on the 1st. Mrs. Jackson was not a member of our church. She attended, she and her husband, Verna Lee, were present at the Mother's Day service. And then points out that she was buried in the Bosun Bay Cemetery. World Presbyterian Mission, it talks about that as well. So those of you who are members of the Bosun Bay Church, and if you were not aware of it, if you were not around in 1967, they published in the Tradewinds newspaper, it was published on the 14th of August 1967, their newsletter about the church as well. So, Doc, in those days, and, even up until I would say the 70s, the 80s, when you had children going off to school, they were highlighted in the newspaper. Of course, now we have so many that are going off to tertiary education, but it is important that we continue to recognize what they're doing, recognize them when they return. Not only recognize them for their achievements, but recognize them so that we find a place to put them, in our society, not just train them, not just ensure that they have the educational qualifications, but to move on from there as well.
Yeah, and what it shows you in the formative years of building the offshore business and building the commercial business in Cayman, Caymanians had a great opportunity. Doors were open to them. They had access to great education, and the most important thing, they had opportunity to make that, to realize the object of that. Of their education. Today it seems to be a little different, and what a difference an era makes. What did you contribute that to, Mr. For the Record? Is it because of the people who were in charge of building the country at that time, or was it because people were more motivated than they are today? What would you contribute all of that activity of young people going away, going to school, and now that how many teachers now are going off? How many people are going off now for teacher training from Cayman? Do you have any idea how many?
Not really offhand, but I think if there's any indication, in terms of the number of Caymanian teachers that we have, we see that in this cohort of governments hiring, I believe out of 130 something, 150 something, 37 were teachers were Caymanian. So we're seeing an improvement. I believe that, to answer your other question, that in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even in the 90s, Caymanians saw a future in the Cayman Islands. They saw a country that they wanted to be a part of building and improving upon. Now, I believe that many people go off to college, but when they return, they're in survival mode. Will I get a job? Will I be able to, to get a job in the field that I am in? Will the private sector give me an opportunity? And not to knock the private sector, because we see in many instances, they do provide scholarships, they do provide internships, and of course those persons for whom scholarships are provided or internships are granted, they already have a foot in the door as well. But at the same time, we have to be honest about the whole thing, and there are some businesses out there that seek deliberately to exclude Caymanians simply because for their own selfish reasons. And, I spoke on Monday about the whole, the dog whistle, that they use, that Caymanians are lazy, Caymanians don't want to, don't want to progress and things of that nature as well. But we're hoping and we're trusting that there will be a different outlook for Caymanians. And of course, we need the government to lead in that regard as well when it comes to regaining control of our destiny here in the Cayman Islands. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation with Dr. Stephen McField will continue, so please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Fosters is 8 o'clock.
Every year, hundreds of thousands of children around the world bravely fight cancer. Join Fosters and Priced Right this Childhood Cancer Awareness Month to help raise money for the St. Baldrick's Foundation, funding critical childhood cancer research. It's easy to donate. At checkout, once you're done shopping, our team will ask if you'd like to round up your purchase to the nearest dollar or make a donation. Let's give kids fighting cancer opportunities to live a lifetime. Donate today at any Fosters or Priced Right location, and together we can conquer kids' cancer.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Let's read the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. More apartments and townhomes are approved by the Central Planning Authority for South Sound. The application discussed at the CPA's August 23rd meeting was for 32 apartments, 4 duplexes, 27 townhomes, 22 pools, 2 cabanas, and a pickleball court from Smith Development in South Sound. A nearby landowner had flagged concerns with regards to local wildlife, including certain protected bird species that inhabit the duck pond nearby. In its reasoning, the authority determined that the objector, quote, did not raise sufficient grounds to refuse permission. More specifically, the objectors note that they are concerned with wildlife on the adjacent parcel, but provided no, quote, evidence to demonstrate that the proposed development will in any way cause a negative impact on the wildlife. The CPA also pointed out that the National Conservation Council has not asked for an environmental impact assessment for this development. Cayman will celebrate local scuba diving industry contributors at this month's International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame. CNDTV's Donna Bush reports.
The 2023 honorees for the International Scuba Diving Hall of Fame have been named. They are Gay Kokimdoper Morse and 2023 emerging honoree, Mr. Cameron DeHue. Ms. Morse and Mr. DeHue will be recognized for their contributions to the scuba diving industry in the Cayman Islands during the annual ISDHF induction ceremony later this month on the 29th of September. Ms. Morse is a well-recognized face in the local diving community, having worked at the Pirates Point Resort in Little Cayman for over 32 years. Introduced in 2017, the local emerging honoree category recognizes young and upcoming Caymanians who are making significant contributions to the industry. Mr. DeHue is from a family of seamen and was the second recipient of the Bob Soda Memorial Scholarship in 2019. Minister of Tourism and Ports, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, says he's proud that the ISDHF recognizes local individuals like Ms. Morse and Mr. DeHue each year, and he's looking forward to seeing them honored at the induction ceremony later this month. Now, the public is encouraged to attend the event and can purchase tickets from the Department of Tourism.
And the Department of Vehicle and Driver's Licensing's Breaker location will reopen for business today. It was temporarily closed to the public due to recent damage sustained from lightning. In regional news, Tropical Storm Lee continues to strengthen at a quick pace. The National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, says satellite images show that deep convection has been increasing in intensity and coverage in a central dense overcast feature. This is causing a spiraling curved band over the western semicircle. Lee is not far from hurricane strength, and it is likely to achieve that status later today. The NHC says the tropical storm is moving west-northwest at 14 knots, with the south side of a subtropical ridge over the central Atlantic. This ridge is expected to persist to the north of Lee during the next several days, keeping the storm on a west-northwest track throughout the remainder of the weekend into the weekend. Lee has already been strengthening fairly quickly despite some east-northeasterly vertical wind shear over the system. The NHC says most of the intensity models are, quote, very aggressive, bringing Lee to major hurricane status by the weekend, but they don't show much change in strength in the short term. So the key message, Lee is forecast to become a major hurricane by late this week and could bring impacts to the Leeward Islands this weekend. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. The UN Secretary-General has warned that the planet's climate is breaking down. Antonio Guterres' comments come after the EU climate monitoring body said 2023 was likely to be the hottest year in human history. The World Meteorological Organization says heat waves are contributing to poor air quality. It warned that climate change and air pollution are intrinsically linked and must be tackled together. The US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, has attended a wreath-laying ceremony at a military cemetery in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Mr. Blinken's unannounced visit aims to underline US support 3 months into Ukraine's counter-offensive. Egypt's president has warned that there need to be controls on the birth rate in the Arab world's most populous country. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said that the rate needed to be limited to 400,000 births a year. One of the EU's highest courts has dismissed a claim for damages against the bloc's border agency by a family of Syrian refugees who were deported from Greece. The family were put on a flight to Turkey just days after they'd applied for asylum. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Hello, good people. This is Uncle Selvin. Long time you not hear from me. When I was growing up around here, if you was not feeling too good, there's nothing in a dip in the sea couldn't clear up. Or better yet, your mama would fix you some good bush tea. Mind you, they still works. But the truth be told, those were simpler times when advice about your health and wellness was pretty straightforward. And you trusted it. Today, around here for trusted advice, the folks at Healthcare Pharmacy is the ones I trust. Their team of healthcare professionals and pharmacists I've been serving this community now for over 30 years. Healthcare pharmacy with 2 locations, Grand Harbor and Governor Square. You can reach them wherever you is.
Honey, did you get your Benzorama ticket yet?
Benzorama what?
The Lions Club Benzorama fundraiser. You could win a brand new Mercedes-Benz.
What? I have always wanted a Mercedes. What kind of Benz?
A brand new sparkling 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLA 200. Tickets are $25 for 1, 3 for $65, or 5 for $100. And you're helping to support the many Lions Club of Grand Cayman causes.
Driving in my new Benz and feeling good about helping the community.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman Benzorama fundraiser. Your chance to win a 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLA 200. Benzorama fundraiser tickets are available from Lions Club members and various sales outlets. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman Benzorama fundraiser supports numerous community initiatives, include site screening, Christmas deliveries, restoration, and social services.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 85 degrees. Relative humidity is 85%. The barometric pressure is 29.92 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east at 3 knots. Overnight low temperature was 83. Synopses indicate residual moisture from a tropical wave to the west of the area, and an upper-level system may support isolated showers and possible thunderstorms across the Cayman area through tonight. Light winds and slight seas are expected to continue over the next few days due to a weak pressure gradient across the Caribbean. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the west. The National Hurricane Center is issuing advisories on Tropical Storm Lee. At last check, Tropical Storm Lee was located some 1,265 miles east-southeast of the northern Leeward Islands and moving towards the west-northwest at 14 miles per hour. This storm poses no threat to the Cayman Islands, but its progress will be monitored by the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. Now, the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures will be in the low 90s. Winds will be light and variable, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet for today. Tonight, expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures falling to the low 80s tonight. Winds will be light and variable, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet as well. Today's low tide will occur this morning at 9:13, high tide this evening at 6 minutes past 5, and a low tide again tonight at 11:33. The sun will set this evening at 6:34 and will rise tomorrow morning at 12 minutes after 6. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Thursday evening. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking. Change your life. Practicing forgiveness is a healthy habit.
As pastor and best-selling author Gary Chapman wrote in his book, The 5 Love Languages, How to Express Heartfelt Commitment to Your Mate, forgiveness is not a feeling, it is a commitment. It is a choice to show mercy, not to hold the offense up against the offender. Forgiveness is an expression of love.
Change your thinking. Change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
It's game time, Subway fans. We're upping our sub game with the all-new Subway Series menu, an all-star lineup of 6 delicious recipes. Just order by name or number and we'll do the rest. Whether you're catching a quick lunch or just need a tasty victory, the Subway Series menu is coming in clutch. Subway Series, easy to order, hard to resist. Try it today, only at Subway. Eat fresh.
Good morning. Let's take a look at traffic. Coming from the east, some sections steady, other section busy. The Linford Pearson Highway coming off of Agnes Way, little steady traffic. Steady traffic coming off of Bob Thompson Way and continuing on to Huldah Avenue. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing moderately, as well as coming from the West Bay 4-way stop. North Sound Road, traffic is steady but flowing, coming off of Esterly Tibbetts as well. Heading towards the Industrial Park area, moderate flow of traffic. Edward Street, light to moderate traffic flow. Shedden Road, not looking too bad, traffic flowing moderately in both directions. Owen Roberts Drive, light traffic. If you've seen accidents or incidents, please give us a call here at Radio Cayman, 949-6990. Have a good morning and drive safe.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Attention all gaming enthusiasts, cosplayers, and technical aficionados. Experience the highly anticipated revival of the Caribbean's premier esports and gaming convention, taking place on September 30th and October 1st at the John Gray High School Gymnasium. Gamers Bay 7. A captivating 2-day extravaganza. Prepare to immerse yourself in an unforgettable event filled with excitement and innovation. Competitors, come showcase your skills and vie for over $10,000 in cash and prizes. Engage in exhilarating head-to-head battles in popular games such as Fortnite, PUBG Mobile, eFootball 23, Rocket League, and Super Smash Brothers. Renowned YouTubers Beck Bro Jack, Adam Beck, and Alec Duras will be there. Cosplayers Carrigan Taylor and Windy Girk will be there too. Lots of free play opportunities catering to PC gamers, retro players, console enthusiasts, arcade lovers, and yes, virtual reality enthusiasts alike. Don't forget the plethora of vendor booths to purchase exclusive items and deals. For further details, including general admission tickets, registration for individuals or teams, please visit GamersBayCayman.com. Sponsored by the Cayman Esports Association, NetGeeks Media, Ministry of Innovation, Ministry of Sports, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Tourism, C3 Pure Fiber, Monster Energy, Digicel, Sagicor, Maxstore, Costuless, Cayman Olympics, Enterprise Cayman, Prestige Motors, High Tech Electronics, ATV Cayman, Office Supply, and Radio Cayman. Gamers Bay 7.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the Record with Orrett Connor continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have a few more birthday shout outs before I switch back over to Dr. Steve McField. So we have Mr. Dicker Brown, who's celebrating a birthday, and happy birthday greetings are coming from his entire family, and they're wishing him God's blessing and thanking the good Lord for having him as a father as well. So Mr. Dicky Brown, and then I think we have another one as well. Yes, we have our birthday wishes going to Mr. Richard Bawden, and I want to make sure that this is the right, yep. Birthday greetings going out to Mr. Richard Bawden from his daughter Rosita, his son Omar, all his grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and the rest of the family with love. His birthday is actually tomorrow, so advance birthday greetings, or if you want to be like royalty, you can have 2 birthdays, and official one tomorrow and an unofficial one today as well. So Mr. Richard Bawden, birthday greetings coming from your daughter Rosita, son Omar, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, and the rest of the family as well. And I mentioned earlier Mr. Dicker Brown celebrating his birthday as well. And folks, if you know more persons who are celebrating a birthday or anniversaries, or if you have a child who's going back off to school and you want to acknowledge them, or they may be just going off to college for the first time, they may be the first person in the family to attend college or university. If you want to share that with us, we'll be more than happy to recognize them here on For the Record as well. So, Doc, back over to you. What's been happening? Otherwise.
Let's finish this thing about the teachers.
Yes.
Because the 100 and something teachers that you were talking about, they are the ones that have been hired in the public schools.
Yes.
But that's not counting all the teachers that are in the private schools also.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they from? They're not Caymanians, most of them. I'm talking about Triple C, True for Youth. I'm talking about the international school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking for all of those schools.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those teachers are not Caymanian people. So with all the surpluses that we have, why is it that we cannot entice Caymanians to become teachers? And with the tremendous salary that the minister has awarded them now, that should encourage them, our Caymanian people, to step up to the plate and to take these scholarships and go off to be teachers.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because I can't think of another profession other than medicine, perhaps, where people care about people's health and care. It's similar to caring about people's education. It's very, very, very important. I did have some foreign teachers when I was young and went to school.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But then I had a lot of Caymanian teachers too, like your mother, like Miss Glida,
mm-hmm. Miss Rachel Forbes.
Yeah. And all of those people, Teacher McField,
mm-hmm.
and all of those people. And I grew up in a different era, I know. And people keep telling me, because I grew up in an era that is not the same today. But I just want to remind them that the era that I grew up with, it was an era of love, tradition, and elegance, not like as is today, where you have the ghetto music and all that stuff has been dominant in our society, and people are going with their pants down, and hardly any education whatsoever, and expect to navigate themselves through this maze, this world that we live in today. So I would encourage a lot of Caymanian parents to tell their children that teaching is a great profession and they should get out there and teach, and get the qualification to teach. I don't understand why it is such an easy job. I mean, not an easy job, it's such a clean job. It's not a job where you have to work in a sweatshop all day or work out in the hot sun all day. You work until what, 8 o'clock in the morning till 3 or 4, and then you have all of the time off in the summertime. And I think that I actually give praise to the elected minister for what she's done to raise the standard, the financial standards of the teachers, so that they can make it lucrative and exciting
and attractive
to the Caymanian people. And I don't understand why more of them now are not going off to teachers training colleges all around. They got all kinds of teachers training colleges. Jamaica, and Cayman is not like Jamaica where you had so many 600, 700, 800 teachers resigning at one time.
Yeah, and more.
And more.
I found an article yesterday, and I'm going to try to share that later on during the show in the Jamaica Gleaner, where someone was, one person opined about the fact that how you can look at the exodus of teachers from Jamaica and see that as a positive. It's an interesting article. We do have a caller. Let's go to the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
And good morning to the Honorable Doctor there.
Good morning, Lord Graham.
Thanks for the invite over the weekend up to your house.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, OC, I heard you making reference to your favorite newspaper a while ago and reading out about all the different people that went off to college. Okay? Right. But when all those individuals came back to Cayman, they came back into a job. And if they went on government scholarship, it was, I think, compulsory that they had to come back and work at least 18 months for the government before they
usually
could
they
go
were
into the private sector.
Usually they were bonded for 3 years
means,
with the government.
Right. That means they were guaranteed a job when they came back. Now we got students coming back with even being more qualified, having master's degree, and they can't even launch a interview. Want to go say about that? How are we going to address that? Let's stop talking about what we did in the past. Let's talk now, we'll see about how going forward we're going to correct our students coming back and being placed in their rightful place here on this island where my people toil from time be gone. How about that?
I agree with you, Lord Graham, and the problem that we have is that we have it, and the initiative is in our hands. We have the power to do that. We have all the constitutional rights to do that, but we seem to forget those when it comes to our own people. And the problem that we have is that it seems to me that we try to please other people far beyond what some of them are entitled to, and then we neglect our own people, and then what we do, we reinforce that neglect and make excuses, and because of what other people say about us, and then we don't give our people a chance. So what does that do, and what does that tell you? If a people can't live in their own country successfully and peacefully, and be able to grow in their own country, what good is the country to them? And the problem that we have now is that whatever little brain drain that we have in the country is going to be gone to other people's country. Why should young people have to go in other people's country to live there, to be able to get to make a family there and to have a life there when they have they could do it in their own country if they got the opportunity. It is our fault, every one of us fault, that this is happening to us. And the problem that we have is that we always try to treat the symptoms instead to treat the disease that we have. And it's all about public management. We have the resources that we can train our people to take their places. And one thing that gave me a little hope this week, I think it was somewhere I read about these group of women who had started their own real estate company. Did you see that, Mr. For the Record?
Yes.
And that really...
Stephanie Foster and others, yes.
I want to congratulate those young women, and that really, really gave me a boost of optimism that it can be done. It should be done, and it can be done. And all we need is the extra help from the people who we elect every year, every 4 years, to do that. And like I say, the Constitution protects us and gives us that right to do what you are suggesting, Lord Graham.
Well, Dr. McField, you and my good friend O.C. always make reference to the Constitution and what rights it gives us and what we can do. But is it only two of you that know anything about the Constitution and the rights that we got and are protected under the Constitution? I don't hear no one else talking about what we can do with the Constitution.
Well,
what we can do that gives us the right under the Constitution. I normally don't hear that from no one else, but two of you. Are you guys got the same Constitution that everybody else?
Definitely. The Cayman Islands Constitution Order 2009 is the primary law of the land. It's the primary law of the land. And as I was saying to Mr. For the Record when I came in, if there's some law against what we can do, as far as my constitutional law is concerned, one of the first principles I learned when I went to constitutional law classes is that one parliament cannot bind the other parliament. So if the law is against us, this parliament can undo that law and make a law for us. That's what that means. And so it's up to them to go out and to do what is right and to open the doors for more Caymanians to do what those young people are doing, to give them the opportunity to do so.
Mm-hmm. Lord Graham?
Yeah.
Go ahead. We got to go to a commercial break, but I want you to finish it.
Quickly.
Sure.
Also, the doctor made reference about we trying to be nice to everybody as I come here. Just think, mankind. I think that was more designed, or we were supposed to express that more to the tourists that jumps off the plane and come here for a week or two. We're supposed to extend that mankind to them, but we're thinking that we're the nicest, we're the largest country in the world, and we can accommodate everybody else unemployment and problems, and we can fix it. And because we're doing that, we're too busy doing that, then we don't have time for our own. So that mankind thing, we got to sort of trim that down a little bit.
Okay.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yep, good idea. So, Doc, when we return, I mentioned this article and I did my search because I normally forward these to my For the Record email. Mm-hmm. Positive side, and I didn't do that. So this is yesterday's Jamaica Gleaner and a letter to the editor. Positive side of teachers and nurses migration. So this is what you talk about. Taking sour lemons and, making lemonade,
yes.
Out of it, as well. Folks, commercial break. Please stay tuned For the Record. We'll be back shortly.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens. and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McField. For those who may be having difficulty getting through to us, remember we have a WhatsApp number as well, 925-3261, but we can only accommodate one caller at a time on that. So you may encounter some difficulties there, and the other number is 949-6990 as well. Before we grab the caller, though, I just wanted to share this before I lose it on my screen here, and I won't blame it on the computer. My tech savviness may cause me to lose it. So here is one Jamaican's view on looking at the positive side of teachers and nurses migration. And, to remind you that this is not an official position. This is just one individual's opinion on it. It says no one can prevent teachers from migrating to other countries to work. So the question is, what should we do? They go on to say, first, we need to acknowledge that our country's educational system is strong, speaking about Jamaica now, because we are producing highly sought after teachers and nurses who are in high demand in first world countries. They go on to say, this demand should be recognized and we should focus on producing more teachers and nurses to meet this demand, both internally and external. The mass migration of professionals from Jamaica will only cease when the market stabilizes and the demand is adequately met. Go on to say we must recognize and embrace this exportable product, treating it as an opportunity for growth. It is my belief, the writer says, that when a Jamaican leaves the country and purchases a 1-acre property in another country, listen to this now, Doc, it is my belief that when a Jamaican leaves this country and purchases a 1-acre property in another country, we have effectively expanded Jamaica by 1 acre. One way to think about it, right?
Yes.
Therefore, we should capitalize on this potential and view it as a positive export. So, what are you talking about? Expanding Jamaica's Jamaica's territory, abroad
Yes.
as well. Few callers on hold. Let's go to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
And good morning to you, Dr. Steve.
Good morning, ma'am.
So nice to have you back.
Thank you.
Okay. Before I say anything, I didn't get an opportunity when it was being spoken about to offer my condolences to the family of the late Mr. Brenner. And I'm saddened by his loss. He was someone that I really, really loved, enjoyed talking to, and so on. So I'm sorry I'm late, but I just wanted to offer my condolences to his family. Then you were speaking about teachers, and I just wanted to sort of expand on what your previous caller had said and what you all are talking about. You know, the fact that the minister has increased the salaries for teachers. I do agree with that because it has always been my opinion that teachers have been overlooked, understated, and underpaid. And we wouldn't have lawyers or doctors or anyone else if we didn't have teachers. So I've never understood why that pay scale, was always so low. However, I do believe also that they should be very, very careful in selecting the teachers that, we bring here to teach our children. And our Caymanians should be encouraged, as Dr. Steve said, to continue in this profession. We can see where our young children are going. And some may not agree with me when I say that I blame this 90% on the teachers that we now have. They don't really care what our children turn out to be. They are collecting a salary, whether the children are progressing or not. And perhaps there's another thing that could be implemented, and that's to do it on a point bonus system, that if you are producing children at the standard that we expect and we are used to, then you get a bonus. And if you don't, then something is deducted from your salary, which would also give teachers the incentive.
So we be performance-based salary.
Yeah, thank you. Which would also give teachers the incentive to make sure that they're producing what they're expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And also that bond that the scholarship students used to have, whether it's teaching or not, I think that once the scholarship was given by the government, the child should be, if not bonded, guaranteed employment with the government when they come back, or at least assist them in getting employment elsewhere. And then the other career, which you all spoke about as well, is nursing. That too is a dying profession within the Caymanians. No one has seemed to look into that and wonder why. I don't know what their pay scale is, but they may very well want to inquire why we don't have any more Caymanians wanting to do nursing. And it's always a reason behind everything. I went to school in a time where we had Caymanian teachers, and the only other foreign teachers I had came from the Caribbean. What I can certainly say is that I'm happy that I went to school during that time, because I wasn't just educated academically, I was educated in many things. I noticed that one of the things they no longer have in school is, back in my time, they called it career preparedness, where you had a class, you had someone there who practiced with you about doing interviews, how you should be dressed, how you should be sitting, how to conduct yourself, questions you should ask, questions you shouldn't ask, and just giving you an overall of what it would be if you're going into the working world. And of course, if you were going on to university, then you were also educated in what to expect and who you could talk to, do research. We didn't have Google and all that back then. We used the old encyclopedias, or we listened to our teachers. Back in my day, my teachers were my mentors, even though I had two great parents. But I have teachers, some of them are still alive, that I love very much. And I can say I owed them a lot for a lot of what I left school with. So I think that our children and our community and our country is being failed. I don't know when it started. I don't know how it started. And I don't know why it started. But we have been failed. And this is something that has taken on a snowball effect. I don't know who is going to stop it, but it needs to stop. All of these things need to be examined and reconsidered. And as the other caller said, what we had in the past, we can do better, and we should be doing better.
Thank you,
All right.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Just want to say there, the caller mentioned nursing, and the UCCI does have a nursing program now. I don't know what the percentage of Caymanians are who are enrolled in that nursing program, or whether or not it is exclusively for Caymanians, that you have to be a Caymanian in order to qualify.
I don't think so.
As a student there.
I know that
is
people from other
available.
jurisdictions are going there.
Okay.
Are qualifying through there. Yes. So, that leads me to the question then: why are we producing outcomes that don't benefit our people? That's the problem. Because if we are in service, if we are in the service industry, banking and all of those things, those are the things that we should be teaching our children in at least in the high school level, so that if they're not going on for higher education, tertiary education, some place in some university to get a degree, we should be teaching them the fundamentals of that industry so that they can go out and get a job. But if you go into high school and all you're entitled to is to get a $6 an hour job, what's the use then? That's the question I want to ask people.
Yep.
What's the use then?
For whom are we developing? For whom are we advancing? One of our listeners says social workers also work very hard and provide for our people, especially when they are at their most vulnerable stage as well. We have to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Level up your back-to-school game with Digicel. Activate a Prime bundle or sign up for postpaid for a chance to win big. Win weekly prizes of $1,500 plus Winner Circle and office supply gift vouchers, plus the grand prize of $5,000 for your school of choice and a MacBook just for you. Stay connected with Digicel and let's make this school year unforgettable. Terms and conditions apply. Visit Digicel.com for more details. Digicel, better connected.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Hello parents, hello boys and girls. It's Rotary Central Storytime at the Georgetown Public Library this Saturday, September 9th, 10 a.m. through noon. It's Storytime with songs by Miss Izzy, refreshments, goodie gift bags, and prizes. Parents, bring your 3 to 9-year-olds for a grand old Storytime this Saturday at the Georgetown Public Library, celebrating International Literacy Day. Rotary Central, creating hope in the world.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McField. One of our listeners has written and said, hello, good morning. Just want to say that I am a young Caymanian aspiring to become an educator, and I have been applying from 2021 to become an assistant teacher within the government schools. I am now in my final semester of completing my associate's degree in primary education at UCCI. In August of 2021, I received an email from government stating that they were unable to place me due to limited vacancies. I applied in 2022, but did not receive an email nor a call back from anyone about my application. I have just now, literally last night, been able to apply in 2023 for an assistant teacher position. It is disheartening to see that I, as a young Caymanian, have been looked over for positions in my own country, when I know for a fact that some people are currently holding assistant teachers' position within the government schools who are not even qualified. They may have an associate's degree, but it is not in the field of education as well. So that's interesting. We do have a caller. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, Mr. Moderator, and good morning to Doc.
Good morning,
Good morning,
sir.
President Roy Borden. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm just listening to your conversation, and
yes.
Here's what I want to add to it. When I left the Universal College in December 2018, the Universal College had established a viable nursing program, accredited through the Nursing Council of Jamaica and recognized by CARICOM. We also had a recognized teacher education program, and I think the social work program was also established, in which people would get not only get a degree in social work, but they would become licensed social workers, which is the highest degree. The problem we have is the problem that I keep lamenting. We have not in the Cayman Islands done a manpower needs assessment program. And so what happens? Our graduates are at a disadvantage because they are not placed in positions for which they're trained. And as if that were not problem enough, they have to compete with people from the outside, some of whom come with qualifications less than those of our own people. It is a formula for disaster.
Yep.
And I hear the complaints every day about the disconnect, and our young people are getting frustrated, and it's manifestly and grossly unfair to them.
Caller, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm just baffled, and I asked the question, for whom are we developing? I see every other nationality coming in and displacing our own people. And I wonder how long it's going to take before we realize the disservice that we're doing to our young people.
Well, President Roy, maybe you can help me. How long do you think this debilitating conundrum has been going on, and what do you see as a solution to it?
Well, you know, it's been going on for ages, and our problem is we seem to think that imported solutions are better than solutions crafted locally, that imported experts are better than our local grown experts. So that's one thing. So we have a credibility problem. We suffer from an inferiority complex, and they don't like me, but I lay that at the foot of colonialism, because that's the most debilitating thing that we have to struggle against. And the answer to the second part of your question, you know, it's not going to be accepted forever, because changes in societies don't come from the people at the lower level, come from the educated middle classes. And when enough of our people are educated that they can make a difference, if the door is not open for them, they're going to kick the door down. Are we going to wait till that happens? Are we going to wait till that happens? You know, I say without fear of successful contradiction, I think that we need a Lyndon Pinzing. What he did in the Bahamas some years ago, and people can say what they want to say. Oh, it set the Bahamas back. Well, he let it clearly be known, look, Bahamas for the Bahamians. And if we have qualified Bahamians, they must get the job over outside people, whether the outside people are qualified or not. But we don't have that mentality in Cayman. Gentlemen, I don't say much, but believe you me, people find my doors. I hear the complaints every day, particularly of frustrated young people who are educated and can't get jobs which are consonant with their education. I hear them every day.
Yes.
And it's a good thing that I'm a peacemaker, because I want to say something else which should be sobering.
Yes.
All that is lacking is for a Barabbas to come forward and say, look, follow me, I got the solution. And believe you me, we will reap upheaval, because we are sowing the wind. And if we don't stop sowing the wind, we're going to reap the whirlwind. You know, but nobody pays us any mind. And Doc, in answer to your question,
yes,
we all went through the same experience. You know, it happened to you, it happened to me, it happened to others. You know, and I'm going to say something else that they don't like to hear. A lot of it has to do with pigmentation, the color of the skin.
Oh, definitely.
Because
yes.
we still struggle with the whole idea of whiteness. We haven't exorcised that old ghost yet. And so that man, you know, I don't know. I'm just at a loss, and I'm glad that I don't come out as much as I used to, because I prefer to stay in the jungle rather than to come out and get frustrated. I'm an old man now, and I don't want to get frustrated with the injustices that I see happening. And I want to say something else. If what I'm hearing is true, really the civil service has much to do too.
Yeah.
They have much to do too.
Yes.
Okay? So, gentlemen, I will leave it at that.
Thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Borden. One of our listeners has written and said, regarding the article pertaining to the migration of Jamaicans and the concept and benefit of a Jamaican owning an acre of property in another country. However, in my humble opinion, comparing the population of indigenous Jamaicans to us indigenous Caymanians, this brain drain of local Caymanians, which has been happening for several years, is not something that we should ever encourage or promote, which I am not saying that has been done by your show. Okay, I'm glad that they acknowledged that, because I was just sharing the article and not saying that that's something that we should be doing here in the Cayman Islands. We should do all that we can. The writer goes on to say we should do all that we can to encourage our own indigenous young Caymanians to build up their own country by giving them the necessary resources and support to do that. Yeah, because what we have in the Cayman Islands is not necessarily brain drain. What we have is that we are not developing the intellect that we should be developing here in the Cayman Islands. We're not doing enough, of it. We're not doing enough to encourage it as well. And again, I want to laud the minister with responsible for education, the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, who has taken the bold step to, in some instances, because at the end of the day, she is the final arbiter when it comes to scholarships. And if someone has missed getting a full scholarship because, of a few points here, of a few points there, the technocrat who may be bound by the parameters are set, for them to use, she has the ability to go beyond that. And I want to applaud her for that, because there could be many instances where a person may just miss out by a few points.
Exactly.
Exactly. I will use myself as an example, Doc. I had one O level. One O level. I went on to obtain a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and also, a certificate, in from the United Nations and UN International Affairs as well. In this day and age, I would not have been able to obtain a scholarship. Of course, in 1967, I believe even if I had 5 O levels, I would not have been able to, or 7 O levels, I would not have been able to acquire scholarships simply because scholarships those days were obtained only for those persons who had families in the civil service.
That's right.
and it was who you know, not what you knew at that point in time. And fortunate for me, and this is where I say give a big plus to the United States. I went to New York, and all you had to do was have a high school diploma, and they had something called open admissions. You were guaranteed a place in some university in the United States, in New York. And I was fortunate to be accepted, or, through a lottery system, to one of the most prestigious schools in the city university system, which was Hunter College at that point in time. Folks, top of the hour, headline news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
More apartments and townhomes are approved by the Central Planning Authority for South Sound. The initial application was for 32 apartments, 4 duplexes, 27 townhomes, 22 pools, 2 cabanas, and a pickleball court from Smith Development in South Sound. The Proud Boys' former leader, Enrique Tarrio, has been jailed for 22 years for orchestrating the attack on the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. It's the longest sentence handed down so far over the attack, which happened as lawmakers were certifying President Joe Biden's 2022 election victory. The 39-year-old was not in Washington during the riot, but helped organize the far-right group's involvement. The Department of Justice's sprawling investigation into the riot has so far seen more than 1,100 people arrested and charged. And U.S. President Joe Biden has awarded the nation's highest military medal to a Vietnam War helicopter pilot who disregarded a direct order. 81-year-old retired Army Captain Larry Taylor flew his Cobra helicopter into a firefight to rescue 4 U.S. troops from near certain death in 1968. He had been ordered to return to base, but refused when he learned there was no other rescue helicopter being sent. A Cobra had never before been used for such a mission. He received the Medal of Honor at the White House. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
It's one of the best moments of your life when you welcome your baby into the world. The HSA's experienced women's health and maternity team provides the highest quality of care throughout your pregnancy and delivery. As a JCI accredited hospital, we are the leader in maternal care, safely delivering over 700 babies annually. Visit hsa.ky for more information. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
I am Teresa Pitcairn, the chairperson of the Cayman Islands Beautification Task Force. Derelict vehicles are not only unsightly, they also lower the quality of life in our neighborhoods and pose serious public health and safety risk. To report a derelict vehicle, please call the Department of Environmental Health on 949-6696.
Be a part of the solution, not the pollution. Littering is a crime punishable by a $500 fine or 6 months in prison. Brought to you by the Beautification Task Force and Ministry of Tourism and Ports.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Any callers on hold, Miss Susan? No callers. Doc, I want to talk a little bit, and I have to be careful that I don't take tales out of school to a certain extent. And no particular case or instance where this involves. But as you know, we have the Reg 6 provisions in our immigration law, and there are certain positions that the board can place a Regulation 6 on, which basically directs the employer to identify a Caymanian who's to eventually take that position. The person should be identified. In addition to that identification, they also should sign an agreement that they're the person who has been identified, the person who will be training them. They submit a training plan as to how long it will take for that person to be able to move into that particular position, right? Now, that also could apply to teaching positions as well. Now, here is the dilemma. Here's the dilemma that we face with that, right? We know the challenges that the public school system could potentially face when it comes to recruitment. But at the same time, we're seeing now where the public school system for teachers is becoming much more attractive. So you're having now persons leaving the private schools and migrating over to government schools. Now, it may be for financial reasons. It may be for security of tenure reasons that, you don't have to worry about, after year 8, where you're going to be or whatever. But we have to be so careful when you put a Reg 6 on a teaching position, because you're saying identify Caymanian for that, but then what you're doing is you're pushing a Caymanian into the private school teaching, and we're saying basically we want our Caymanians to be more involved in a public school. And we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that there are Caymanian children who are also attending the private schools. But you have more Caymanian children attending, in my opinion, I believe, and the numbers should bear this out. You have more Caymanian children attending public schools than you have those who are attending private schools. But we could find ourselves in that dilemma if we put Reg 6s on to teaching positions, because then we're keeping the Caymanians in the private schools when we really want them to be in the public schools. You have a view on that?
Yeah, but the dilemma that you talk about, I think the Honorable Minister for Education spoke about that when she was here on your show. And I made a call in sometime last week, I think it was. And she said, and this is her problem, and I'm just trying to restate what she said. She said that the problem that she has is that she has nothing to do with hiring. That is not her remit. Although you say that she has the last word on scholarships, on who obtains a scholarship, she has no word whatsoever when it comes to employing Caymanian teachers. That is for the civil servants. And she made that quite clear, and that is true. And that is an old colonial holdover from years back that was in our 1959 Constitution, that still obtains today in our 2009 Constitution, that the elected government, the elected members, the members of parliament, has nothing to do with who gets hired, even in their portfolio, even their departments. They have no control over those people. So even though the Minister for Education might say, I would like to have this amount of Caymanian teachers, and these are the people that I would like to select to come to work in the education department, she doesn't have the final word to hire them. And that's a problem. So it goes back to what President Roy Borden said. It all goes back to the whole colonial system that we keep talking about the system, but we keep pouring water on the symptoms and not getting to the disease. Yeah. And the disease is colonialism, that we cannot make decisions for ourselves. So other people continue to make decisions for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That right of self-determination. Yes. Ms. Susan, we have a caller on hold. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Joseph Steve. Good morning, OC.
Hey, good morning, my friend. Haven't heard from you in a while. Were you on vacation or what?
Well, I wanted to listen a little more so that when I come out of semi-retirement, maybe I might have a little more punch and a little more coherence. I don't know. Look, I've been following the discussion. It's interesting how things happen. The question that Roy Borden asked you gentlemen in the studio is the kind of question I was going to direct to the two of you, but in a different formulation, because what I was going to ask, and I'll ask it before I make my comment, the question is, do you think that there is a chance that Caymanians will be able to arrest this loss of turf professionally and economically, whether you think that this is something that they can arrest or even reverse to some degree? I would enjoy I would love to have an answer to that, but also, in addition to that, I would like a reason why, if there is any hope, why there is that hope. But my comment is this. You see, let me begin with the issue about how the minister responded to the issue about who has power to hire or not to hire. One of the discussions I have with one of my best Caymanian friends is every time I say, well, but the law doesn't allow you to do this, and then he says, but why don't you change the law?
Yeah, exactly, yes.
Exactly. And that is the issue. This matter that, well, the minister can't hire, that is okay, that is correct, but you can change the law. And in any case, even at the moment, even without a change of the law, you can, and I think I've said this on your show before, you can ask the deputy governor. You are the person who superintends over that whole hiring process. The chief officers hire people in their departments and ministries. You hire the chief officers. We understand that. That's what the public service management law says. But why can't the politicians say, we are elected to deliver certain results, and that includes employment and giving priority to Caymanians? Please give us a program, a target. What are you going to do? How many people do you plan to employ? What do you think is feasible in terms of ensuring that Caymanians are being employed? We won't tell you who to hire or not, but we want to see if we can set targets. But even that hasn't been done. And then you see after the targets are set,
So you believe that Billy, you believe that ministers are constrained from doing that at the moment, because isn't that a part of policy?
Well, it is part of policy, but the issue here is that there is no legislation which prevents that from happening. Okay. There is no problem which will prevent that from happening. They are talking about pinling, right, in the Bahamas. It's the usual nonsense scare tactics. You see, before I came to the Cayman Islands, actually I had gotten a job in the Bahamas. I got two jobs, one in the Cayman Islands and the other in the Bahamas, but I chose to come in to Cayman. In the Bahamas, they had a policy that certain heads of departments, like the DPP, Solicitor General, Attorney General, a certain range of top departmental jobs in the legal as well as in other fields, were to go to Bahamians. Okay? And I don't understand this thing in the Cayman Islands where, for example, that person who sent in a message who said, well, look, I've been applying for an internship or an assistant position and I can't get it, but foreigners are getting it. That shouldn't happen. There should be a policy that this is just prohibited. You can't do this. While there are Caymanians who are out there who have applied, you can't be employing foreigners. That's not a question of some law or anything. They can do it if they don't want to, if they want to do it. So at the end of the day, all I'm saying, let me close by this. People are justified in the way they feel. I believe personally that probably the back of the whole Caymanian government, and not just this government, but other governments, has been broken. there's no political will to do what the people want.
Yes.
And I think the question you ask at the end of the day is, what is accountable government for? If you elect a government in power and it doesn't deal with the fundamental frustrations you have in your society, and they keep giving excuses, what is accountable government for? What are they there for? Nothing is changing. And that's the fundamental question I think that has to be asked. I thank you.
But Mr. Billy, before you go,
yeah,
I think it's my opinion as an attorney, and I'm speaking now as on the radio, that the national reality has not been forged in these present times. The national reality is that Cape has changed from 1957, 1958, 1959. The whole world has changed, and we are still battling with an old colonial constitution that limits what we can do, what we can say, and who we can be friends with and who we cannot be friends with. Yeah. That's a problem that we have. So let me ask you then.
Yes.
Do you think it's a problem of leadership, or it's a problem of lack of ability to face these realities and these symbolisms and to deny them at this particular time in our development?
That's a tough one, Dr. Steve, but I'll answer it. In a sense, it's one question. Is it lack of leadership or lack of ability to face it? I think the answer is there's lack of leadership which fails to face these issues directly. Look, let me mention something which is very, very controversial. I know that the Deputy Governor is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Every time I send him an email, at least he responds to me. But how is he appointed? Under the Constitution, he's appointed under the discretion of Her Majesty's government. And that's the head of the civil service. Now, no matter how much he wants to do for Caymanians, it is a Caymanian. The people who actually put, bread in his hand is the British government. Are you surprised, therefore, that sometimes he doesn't come out on the side of Caymanians?
But he represents, don't forget now, he represents the British government.
Yes,
he represents the British government.
And it says so in the Constitution that he has to come out on the side of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you are so right about that. He represents the British government. He is the deputy to the person, to the governor, who is the person who represents the government. So he's just working in that office. He does not work actually for Caymanians.
Right. So, and we can't blame him for that. That's, we can't blame him.
We can't blame him for that. That's what the constitutional role that he's placed in.
Exactly. You can't blame him for that. So what that does is it goes back to the fundamental question you asked, Dr. Steve. Do we need to continue in this colonial system?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's where the root of the problem is.
Exactly. And if Billy, if we look, and people, they will accuse me again. He's mentioning Bermuda again. Yes. You look at Bermuda, the head of the civil service is not the deputy governor. You know where the deputy governor is? The deputy governor resides, or his office is in the governor's residence. The governor in Bermuda doesn't go down to their parliament, unless it is to deliver the throne speech or otherwise. That's where the governor's office is, in his residence. That's where the deputy governor is. The head of the civil service is the cabinet secretary. At one point in time, it was a cabinet secretary, and then they divided the position, and the cabinet secretary was one position, and you had the head of the civil service in the other. So the example is out there. So again, it all goes back to our constitution and what we decide to have in it.
In Africa, we still have the same old British system. The cabinet secretary is the head of the civil service, not the deputy governor.
Yes.
But the reason they did it that way is because of this same colonial thing. They want to maintain control. But it must be changed so that the chief. In my view, for example, you should have the head of the civil service, if possible, appointed subject to the approval of the people's representative, because the people who work in government are usually Caymanians. So why are they being led by somebody who is appointed by the colonial master? But those are the fundamental issues. I think those are the issues that have to be addressed. But to answer your question again, Dr. Steve, there is nobody in Cayman who is ready, in terms of the people we've elected so far, there's nobody who is ready to face that and be able to say we want to set targets in terms of both the people we appoint and what targets we are going to meet. Because at the moment, how can you have a situation, for example, in the portfolio of legal affairs, where virtually everybody is not a local, and yet Caymanians who have finished the PPC can't get articles? If they can't, so long as there's one foreigner in the portfolio of legal affairs, there's no reason why at least one Caymanian cannot get articles there, because that's what you aim to do. But apparently that is not something we are looking at. Apparently we are happy with that, but we'll see how that turns out. But so, I've been very disappointed myself with the successive governments, what they've done in the way they have suppressed Caymanians, suppressed people who are trying to be supportive of Caymanians, and just anybody who has tried to help Caymanians has also been victimized.
Okay, thank you very much, Billy. We've gone way beyond our commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old girl this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Ms. Susan, any callers on hold? No callers? Okay. One of our listeners wrote and said, I totally agree with what Dr. Roy has said. There is a mentality that foreign qualifications, that a foreign qualification is better. We must look after our own children, encouraging and preparing them the best we can. To be that valuable gem in these beautiful islands. Please, our leaders in government, do whatever it takes to encourage and not to discourage. Our children are the future. Look after them. They are very brilliant children within our society. Go, get them into the system. Lift up Cayman. And then this person has written and said, at UCCI we hear about the School of Nursing and the School of Social Work. Is there a School of Education for teacher training? That's a good
yes,
good point.
Good question.
Good question here.
Yes.
This person says, please, if I can, in my humble opinion, teachers should have a dress code to be held accountable. For teachers, some are dressing like they're doing a fashion show and not a teacher, especially the high heel shoes,
Yes.
the long artificial nails, eyelashes. So we're going to talk about. He says, yes to your question. Sorry. Okay. This person also pointed out to us that they had an issue with where there were twin sisters teaching in school, one in one class and one in the other, and this person found that their child was regressing rather than progressing in such a situation, and the child isn't feeling as productive as they felt when in year 4, year 5, and year 6 are similar. And then, of course, the crucial year is now year 6. Still have just want to share as many of the WhatsApp messages as I can. This person says, what needs to be addressed regarding Caymanian teachers is why do a large percentage of Caymanian teachers move into the Ministry of Education, other government organization, some after just their first or second year on the job? And I think that's a valid question as well. Some go into administration, but at the same time, you have those teachers who have a love for the classroom because they love to impart knowledge. They love to see people progress. And the point is that we need them not only in the classroom, but we need them in other positions where they can influence policy decisions or the carrying out of policy as well. And this person says, are we able to edit our constitution? I guess I think they mean amend the constitution without the UK's approval, and we know that I'll let you answer that, Doc.
Unless it's minor
amendments.
Minor amendment, we don't have to get approval, but if it's major amendment, then you have to have a referendum.
Yeah. Otherwise, if it's minor, then the leader, the premier, and the leader of the opposition can agree to it and then approach the UK in that regard. We have a caller now, Miss Susan. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Orrett Connor.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay, and good morning to Dr. Steve.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Concerning the minimum wage, what exactly are the plans for the government to increase the minimum wage or leave it as it is, or what's happening with that?
Still under review.
Well, I hope that it's done soon, because I can tell you one thing, that one of the greatest injustices that has happened here is that when they put the minimum wage at $6 an hour for Caymanians cannot even go to the Burger King, making $6 an hour. Caymanians can't pay their mortgage, can't pay their light bill, they can't pay their car loans, they can't feed their people, they can't buy clothes, they can't buy shoes, they can't travel, making $6 an hour. It's a terrible injustice. And there's an old saying I heard and I heard it reiterated on the radio a couple of days ago, on the YouTube a couple of days ago. Those who remain silent in the face of injustice is as bad, and they're condoning the oppressors. They're on the side of the oppressors. That should not have taken so long for us to remediate that and to put a decent salary in place for Caymanian workers. That salary, yes, is okay for people who come from abroad, who come from third world countries, who are living off $1 a day. Caymanians can't live off $1 a day. Caymanians can't feed their children off $1.50 a week, and so forth. They see that as great money, but not for Caymanian people. And I hope that is sooner than later, because the longer that they keep putting this off and not dealing with it, is the longer that Caymanian people are going to be regressing. So I hope it is sooner than later.
Hope you all took warning just now what President Roy Biden said about knocking the door down.
Yes, well,
because if things don't change soon, we're going to get exactly what they're looking for, and that is a riot. And I promise you that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
caller, for that. We have another caller, Miss Susan. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hey, good morning, O.C. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good. Morning, Doc.
Good morning to you, sir.
Just quick question I want to ask, because the phone lines don't seem to be working anything on the free line. So,
caller, we're curious to know which line you tried calling on, because we're trying to figure out which one isn't working.
The free line.
Toll-free number? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
okay,
and
thanks.
The radio stations are down, so that's why you not get much people calling in.
Yes, and what we want to do is we want to encourage people to download the app, or they can go to the YouTube channel as well to follow us there until we get that fixed.
More in the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to mention was that the education system, I don't think it supports the college scholarships for those people that wants to do construction or mechanic or inner side jobs of such that are a lower quality grade education. I never heard any scholarships handed out for those type of jobs. Only the high-end jobs they get scholarships for. You heard me say...
He's gone.
Lost the caller. Okay, let's take that commercial break. That'll give him an opportunity to reconnect. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
West Bay Pharmacy. Personalized medicine, customized care to meet your specific needs. Your body is unique to you. Your medicine should be too. Whether you're seeking individual specific medication, correct size dosages, or simply better tasting medicine, ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about how compounding at West Bay Pharmacy can increase your treatment options, not only for your family, but for your pets too. West Bay Pharmacy, open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Sundays and most holidays from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Get ready for more with Digicel's all-new prepaid plans. More any-use data to browse. Entertainment data for Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok. Plus, stay connected with endless social data for Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. With Digicel's new prepaid plans, you'll never miss a beat. Activate in the My Digicel app today. Digicel. Better connected.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the Record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Miss Susan, we have several people inquire. Yeah, okay. But we have several people inquiring about the numbers which are actually operational now that they can call in. 949-6990. Try that number. And our WhatsApp number 925-3261. Now, on the WhatsApp number, we can only accommodate one caller at a time, so you may have difficulty there if another caller is already there. But that WhatsApp number is 925-3261 and then 949-6990. Someone is on that call now, so you will get a busy signal there as well. Let's go back to the caller. I think he's rejoined. Let's go right ahead, caller.
Yes, sir. Thank you, O.C. Thank you. And I wanted to mention, I think that was Miss Lucille call. I'm not certain, but I think that was her. And then Dr. Roy Borden, they both made some very good remarks regarding the situation that our children are in here in the Cayman Islands. And I understand when Dr. McField read regarding the Minister for education that she's not responsible for hiring. But there should be a board meeting regarding when they hire that she sits on and oversee the applications of these people that are hired. Because when you find a school that have 3 or 4 couples working in the same institution, in the same school, to me that looks like a setup. I may be wrong, and I hopefully nobody sees me wrong on what I'm saying, because when a husband and wife is working in the same job, how are our Cayman children going to be able to fill positions when these people are helping themselves, their own people, to fill these positions? There should be someone sitting on a board and say, listen, no, we can't have this. If one's going to work, the other one has to go somewhere else. We can't have the education, the school system just filled with couples or whatever the circumstance will be. It leaves no opportunity for our young children to get into the system.
Mm-hmm.
And the schools, I've always said from time I was in school, the schools only teach a certain thing for the kids to go out into. It's the banking fields. They don't teach education to the children regarding even teaching at the school. They don't educate you to be a teacher. These things need to be implemented, and why they're not being implemented is they're doing that because to cut the jobs where the people from a foreign country get those jobs that our children don't fill them. That is a question that I would like someone to answer me.
Okay. Caller, thank you very much for that. We're going to, since we have limited lines, we're going to try to take as many as we can. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. Steve.
Good morning, sir.
Just wanted to commend you on the work that you've been doing on the point system. And I want to ask, if we have any updates on that, because I remember you mentioning that there won't be anyone getting points from walking dogs and buying property anymore on the island. So I want to ask that question, if there's any progress on that. And secondly, I noticed that, it's slow season now, but there have been not a lot of cruise ships coming into the harbor. And a lot of the stores all of the stores in the waterfront area that depend on these cruise ships to survive. Not only the stores, but the tour operators and the charter business, etc. They are struggling to make it when we don't have any ships in the harbor. They say that we can depend on stayover visitors, but if you drive through Georgetown on a day with no cruise ships, I don't see any stayover visitors down there shopping and eating at the restaurants. It's like a ghost town. So the minister for tourism has made it clear that he is not interested in cruise tourism. I just want to know, how do you think we'll survive without the cruise ships, or fewer cruise ships that are coming now going forward?
Let me ask you your first question. I am trying to have the committee that I'm chairing, the Point System Committee, to be able to engage with the public and the public consultation of the report by the end of the month, by the end of this month. After those public consultations, then it will go to the cabinet for their review, and then it will be up to them to accept or reject the changes that we are proposing to make to the permanent residence. Put permanent residence based on the point system. As far as the cruise ship thing, I don't know much about that. But one thing that I know is that even that we allowed to get away from us. We had a thriving town called Georgetown, one of the most beautiful little small towns in the Caribbean, and we allowed that to die. We allowed other people to come in, and they made a new town. That's what they advertised it. There's a new town coming, and they did, and everything pulled to this new place and left Georgetown a ghost town. It is up to the government now to revitalize Georgetown and to bring it back to have it flourish in commerce, entertainment, and enjoyable place to visit and to be. living in. There are a lot of things they can do, but it seems to me that they would rather listen to other people than some of the people who knows about Georgetown, who know the history of Georgetown, and who's interested in seeing Georgetown becoming a great popular place again. There are ways to do it, but not the way they're going about it right now. They're spending so much money in a few yards of streets that amazes me how they could spend so much money and so much time on a few yards of streets when all the other places in Georgetown need to be revitalized and be renewed and stuff. And what we need in Georgetown is multiple development. We need to bring people back to live in Georgetown so that they don't have to live outside the city and travel back into the city every day, because Georgetown have an old history. The people who controlled Georgetown in the old days, they were the ones, the big merchants, the economic survivors, big merchants. What they did is that when they closed their places up at 4:30 and 5 o'clock, everybody in Georgetown went home. And they did not allow any other small businesses like you have in other Caribbean countries where at night it comes alive with music, dancing, all that stuff in the streets. They didn't do that. They outlawed all of that stuff and had it to themselves. And so now we need to bring Georgetown, we need to revitalize it and bring it back into the 21st century. That can be done, but they need the right people guiding the government on how that should be done, and not one person who put down some payments from Flowers Block Factory. That's not the way it's supposed to be done.
Caller, any final comments?
Yeah, if you would allow me to add, I agree 100% with you on that, Dr. Steve. I just wanted to add that, we have a lot of people complaining about trying to make it in Cayman, and I think the first issue that we need to tackle is immigration. That's the biggest issue that we face in Cayman Islands right now. It's not CUC, it's not Foster's, it's immigration. So I just want to put that out there.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. Let's see how many calls we have. One caller. Let's grab that caller before we go to a commercial break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, Ossie.
Morning.
Yeah, morning, Dr. Steve.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, and I listen, and where there's a will, there's a way, and there's a word called courage, right? I campaign on this. School teachers been making little bit of money, and if we wanted school teachers 25 years ago, 100% scholarship paid for school teachers, and you have to work 5 years. Whether you teach in the private sector or the public, but you should start in the public sector. But like you said, we got came on and going to private schools too, right? Mm-hmm. But there was no push for that. Plus, we got a booming construction trade. I went to trade school in 1979. Mr. Heberat, God bless his soul, sent me in 1979 to read blueprints, do costing and things. And when the boom hit in the 80s, they shut it down. We're not going to turn to train Caymania. We're bringing them from all over the place. No courage, just the dollar sign. Mm-hmm. But remember, remember when there was gold in California? You know who went there first? The hard-working miners, right? And when they hit the gold, who came behind them? The thieves, the whores, the swindlers. You understand it?
Yes.
That is the same thing happened to us now. But we do not have the will. It just, look at this, We got, because we only dealing with it. If you don't have an education, and only certain people, they want educated. Now, tell me something. It's been going on 11 years now. That you got pharmacists and doctors importing extract of cannabis. And nobody can say, listen, man, we giving the poor Caymanian farmers that someone can hardly read and write, but we can farm and we can teach our children. But that is a green industry. But no, you know what we're doing? Sell Mile Beach, made a bill right on the water and destroyed it. That's the mentality we have. And let me tell you something. I know when my daughter, that praise the Lord, three them work in the private sector, but when my youngest one wanted to work immigration at different parts of government, they would tell me all kind of things. I said, look here, change your surname. Change your surname. That's something that they can't pronounce or spell, and you can get a job. Change it. But until we, and look here, who is controlling the civil servant? I know England is controlling X amount, but England do not tell anybody in the civil servant or their department, look here, you have to hire a foreigner. I know for sure, I'm not that stupid, but we do not want to hire our people because, you know, it's a thing called control. So when I got Caymanian working with me, that getting on in the job, that can, in a little bit of time, can be able to take my job. They don't want that. But if a foreigner is there, they can choke that foreigner until they retire. Then you get my job.
Yep. Okay, caller, I want to thank you very much for that. We're going to a commercial break. Miss Susan, what we're going to do if there's no Miss Susan, if there are no callers, we're going to close the phone lines off when we return, because what we want to, the question that was posed, the situation posed by Mr. Roy Borden and then by Billy Samamba, how do we address this situation? Are we in a position to reverse the trend that is taking place in the Cayman Islands? We want to discuss that. So we're going to close the phone lines off so we can, give you a position on that as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
With the heat rising and temps flurrying, it's time to pull into Jose's Rubis, where you can buy 2 1-liter bottles of Aquafina water for only $3. Don't miss your chance to share the love during the Rubis Pure Summer Times 2 promotion. Each time you top up your tank with $25 of merchandise or from our 24-hour food mart or with your car's favorite fuel, you earn another stamp. Collect 6 stamps and you are entered to win $5,000 for you and $5,000 for someone you love. Don't forget to pick up tickets for the Lions Club Benzorama at Reflections, Hemp and Tobacco, Food for Less, and Jose's Rubis, now open 24 hours a day.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning, and I have to apologize. Unfortunately, we have closed off the phone lines because there's something, very important questions that were raised that we really want to get to as well. We know that you would want to participate in that. Please feel free to send us emails or WhatsApp messages in regards to your position. And if we're unable to articulate your views this morning, then there will be other opportunities for it as well. We don't delete what you send us on WhatsApp. We keep it so that if we have to refer to it another time, it is there. I have been reliably informed. For those of you who have questioned the offerings at the UCCI in relation to education, the UCCI, they offer a Bachelor of Primary Education. They also offer a postgraduate certificate in education as well. Both qualifications allow the recipients to teach in the Cayman Islands. So again, if you're interested in teaching, you don't want to go off island, UCCI offers a Bachelor in Primary Education as well as a postgraduate certificate in education. Either of these will allow you to teach in the Cayman Islands. So, Doc, question posed.
Yes.
Are we able to reverse the trend that we are heading on? I, in the past, have made the statement that, we're going to soon be unfortunately, like the Indians, on the reservation.
Yes, yes.
I have said that we're going to have to start to introduce affirmative action programs for Caymanians. Mm-hmm. In fact, the Reg 6 that I spoke about earlier,
yes,
that to a certain extent is it, because we were saying to businesses, you have to identify a Caymanian and train them for that position.
That is awful. What do you have to identify a Caymanian?
Yes. So
when you're doing businesses in Cayman.
Yeah. So how are we going to be able to turn the tide? Number one, if we don't address the whole issue of status grants and security of tenure in the Cayman Islands, we have seen the effects now in 2023, 20 years later, of those status grants that were granted by Cabinet. We've seen the effect of that. If our politicians continue to fail to identify particular jobs that are earmarked specifically for Caymanians and businesses for Caymanians, if we don't start to do that now, we're never going to be able to change the trend that we are going in, where Caymanians are not only feeling but are more and more marginalized in their own country, having to compete against non-Caymanians for jobs in their own country as well. Now, we know that the politicians say that they are constantly told that we, the elected, are always reminded that we cannot get involved in HR matters. I would say that while that may be true, if you have a chief officer who is not performing, I am sure that there must be some way for you to get to the deputy governor or to the governor and say, in order for me to carry out my constitutional mandate as a minister, I need to have someone who is in sync with me. They should be able to at least do that much, Doc.
That's right. And if that is not so, then there has to be a change to the Constitution to allow that to happen. The question I want to ask you, Mr. For the record, and to the public, these changes that we say that are needed and that we say are inevitable, yes? The question I want to ask, if these changes have effect of motivating, educating, transforming the lives of Caymanians, why is it that we are not prepared to make these changes? If these changes are going to be detrimental to us, then I don't want to have those changes to be made. But I can assure the public that the changes that we are envisioning visiting that are going to be made to the point system is going to affect the lives of Caymanians, give them motivation, education, and transforming their lives in the future. But that is only like, and I agree with President Roy Borden. That is only that is only feeding this tranquilizing the symptoms. It's not tranquilizing and destroying the conundrum that we face today, which is colonialism. We need to actually revisit our constitution, and we need to say to the colonial people who actually will allow us to change the constitution that there are things that are not working in our favor. And we need to have the spirit and the courage and the leadership to go and say we need to have these changes made. And we need to prepare our people for the changes that have to come, that they will have to face. Because I want to ask, will those coming after this economic revolution have the determination to congeal where their future lies in an economic system shaped by inward capital and unbridled development? That is the question I want to ask, because that is a pertinent question. We have a constitution that does not work for us, although it has brought us some modernization and in the form of cabinet government, but it still shackles us into a neo-colonialism position where we have to obey foreign masters to tell us what to do, and sometimes they decide that, oh, well, that's not the best for you.
And sometimes those portions of the Constitution that are there that could work for us, we're not making them work for us.
Making them work for us.
And one good example of that is advisory district councils.
Exactly.
And the expansion and the utilization of Section 16.
That's right. Section 16.
Yes.
Everybody seems to ignore Section 16. And I just want to let my people know again what Section 16 says. Section 16 says, and I just want to reiterate it, we have the right to appropriate revenues or funds for the Cayman Islands, or for the importation of taxation, including the levying of fees for the grants of licenses. We have the right in respect to the entry into or exclusion from, or the employment, engagement in any business or profession, movement or residence within the Cayman Islands of persons who are not Caymanians. We have the right, in the case of persons of any description or grounds, as is mentioned in Section 2, that's above, or of persons connected with such persons of the law with respect to adoption, marriage, divorce, burial, devolution of property on death, or other like manner that is the personal law applicable to persons of that description. We have the right to say, to the extent that it requires a person to be a Caymanian or to possess any other qualifications in order to be eligible for appointment to any office in a public service, or in a discipline force, or any office in the service of a local government authority, or body corporate established directly by any law for public purposes. So we have all those rights to say who's going to be a policeman. We have the right to say who is going to work in the public service. We have a right to say who's going to work in the customs. We have a right to say who's going to work in the police. We have the right to say who's going to work in the prison. We have the right to say who's going to work in the Coast Guards. We have the right to say who's going to work in the NRA. That you have to be Caymanian or not. We have the right to do all that. And we're not taking those rights up, and we're not enforcing them. So we still have a lot of things in the Constitution that we can do to benefit our own selves, to enhance our own people, and we completely ignoring them. And in terms of work permits, status, and permanent residence, it says that we have the right to exclude or to allow the entry from or the employment, engagement in any business or profession, movement or residence within the Cayman Islands of persons who are not Caymanians. So why are we waiting for other people to actually tell us what to do? Abdicating our rights to other people. And why are we producing outcomes that do not benefit our own people? And why are we allowing exploitation of our country in disregard for the uplifting of our own people? Why are we doing that when the Constitution gives us all these rights to uplift our people and to protect them so that they can also enjoy the economic benefits of this system that shapes us? That's what I want to know. And that's what I want to throw out to the people who are listening to us this morning on this radio station.
Okay, Doc, I want to thank you. This has been a very lively discussion this morning based on the responses that we've been getting either by phone or on our social media platforms as well. Some have opined, want you back on Friday, and I've said to them, if we have no bookings, I think I'm trying to book one government official on for Friday to address a situation, but it won't be for the entire show as well. And hopefully we can continue this discussion because people want it to be discussed. But I would say, folks, we've reached a point where we have to go a little much further than just simply discussing it on talk radio. We have to really, really go beyond.
So I would like to leave you. I like to leave you, your listeners, with this. Sure. With these words from the late Benson E. Banks, one of our great leaders of the 20th century in Cayman, and he said this, and I quote: "Now we listen to so-called speeches of redundancy, walking us through what they say is our most glorious times, but only abdicating our power to greedy people and unscrupulous disrespecters. Also, these false symbolisms of patriotism and endless subjugation and personalization," unquote. That's what he said in the Legislative Assembly many years ago.
And I just want to say on the late Mr. Benson E. Banks as well, I see on other social media platforms and other areas people talking about the Caymanian Protection Law 1972.
Yes.
And I have shared it on this on my show years ago when he introduced the Caymanian Protection Law in 1972.
Yes.
I want to share his opening remarks and what that particular piece of legislation was intended for. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And by the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. Visit gov.ky/steps to learn more. And Cayman Airways. Call them on